But she is very heavily involved in the show, insofar as I can tell. And she even made a cameo in the very first episode. It's like an off camera cameo at the Red Center, and she's pretending to be one of the aunts and basically indoctrinating and brainwashing these girls. And actually, in the audiobook that I have, there's a like afterward author's note sort of thing from Atwood, where she talks a little bit about that experience, and she says it really bothered her. Like, she knew it was fake and that she was just pretending, and all the other actresses were like, oh yeah, just another day at work. But it really bothered her that she had to say things like, but whose fault was it? It was her fault. Her fault. Make her pay. Or, I forget what the actual, oh my gosh. I can't even imagine. But anyways, speaking actually of the aunts, I'm really delighted with the portrayal of Aunt Lydia in the show. Aunt Lydia and Janine. In the book, you obviously, it's all just June or Offred, her perspective of and perception of that relationship. But and it looks like, oh, Janine, she's just so desperate to not be beaten. She's going to do whatever it takes. And Lydia seems like a power-hungry woman, because really the aunts are the only women in this society that have some level of power. But in the show, we see this. First of all, I love Janine. She is so bat crap crazy. I just sit there and I go, oh my gosh, this poor girl. She's gonna break any minute, and I don't blame her. Oh my gosh. And she just, I want to snuggle her every minute. So expertly portrayed by, I should have looked up the actress's name, because I just absolutely adore this character. But she is so perfectly portrayed in the show. She does such a great job. But more to the point, we see Aunt Lydia. We can see that Aunt Lydia actually, in a weird, twisted way, adores Janine. I mentioned there's an episode with a delegation from Mexico comes in. Well, one of the things that's in the show that's not in the book is that Janine gets in trouble in the Red Center, and so to punish her, they take her eye out, because, you don't need your eye to make babies. So Janine spends basically the entire show, one-eyed Janine, bat crap crazy. And anyway, so you have this trade delegation and diplomats and stuff coming from Mexico, and so throwing this big banquet thing. And Serena Joy is looking at all the handmaids, and she points at Janine, and she said, not just Janine, but a bunch of them. She says, take the broken ones out. And so all the girls who've been mutilated in some way along the line, they get taken out of the line. And Lydia and Janine starts putting up a fight. She's like, no, I want to go to the party. I want to go. And I'm just like, oh my God, crazy Janine. And Lydia says to Serena Joy, ma'am, look, they've earned this just as much as anybody else. And all that. And Serena Joy stands firm. And so as Janine's about to walk off, Lydia says, you know what, I'm going to bring you a plate, and I'm going to put extra cake on there. And, and you can just tell that there's this genuine love and affection on Lydia's part. And I just adore that. There's something so sickeningly touching about that. Because you can see the conflict that's going on in this character. Is she cares so much about Janine, but at the same time, she's obligated to the Republic. She has to do her job. She has to follow protocol. And you can tell that it kills her inside. And it makes you want to cry. I'm trying not to cry right now. So, but these are things that couldn't fit into the book because of the way it was written, or the style, I guess you could say, that in which it was written. And that's not necessarily a bad thing for the book or a bad thing for the show. I think it's good that, Elizabeth Moss or, whoever initially went, hey, why don't we put this on TV? It's good that they went, you know what? There's not enough in the book. Let's add on to it. And let's make sure that Margaret Atwood is on board with it. So I really honestly highly recommend watching the show. I do not recommend watching it sober, but I do recommend watching the show. So, and reading the book. I feel like the two go together. I recommend reading the book first and then watching the show, not the other way around. Because I feel like if you watch the show first, the book's going to be a letdown. But I feel like if you read the book first, the show is just phenomenal. It's got, oh my gosh, and the colors and the cinematography. And I watched this video on YouTube from this channel called Screen Prism. By the way, you should go check that channel out. It is fucking awesome. Anyways, and they did a video about it, talking about all the cinematography, and like they pointed out these little things in the show that I hadn't noticed. Like a lot of the shots, most of the shots, especially of the women are not centered. They're not centered in the shot. And so basically anytime there's a close-up of somebody's face, like while I'm watching, I have to actually like move my screen back and go, wait, are they centered? Because I get so close up to my screen, like sometimes I don't notice, but I'm realizing, oh my gosh, that's really, and it's sort of showing how women are being, in this society, are being pushed to the fringes of society, and their importance is being diminished, and it's really artsy-fartsy and awesome. So, but yeah, I highly recommend watching the show. I also highly recommend checking out Screen Prism, and I also highly recommend reading the book. But read the book first, then check out the show, then watch Screen Prism. I'm just saying. Plus, they've got like a bunch of other videos about other books and movies, or books that have turned into movies, and it is really fabulous. So, that is all I have to say about that. If you would like to follow me on social media, the username to look for is PurpleBecca923. That's PurpleBecca 923. That is my username on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And with regards to Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat, I always follow back. Just putting it out there. I always follow back. Unless and until you send me something inappropriate, then it's block and delete. Possibly report, depending on how inappropriate it actually is. That is also my email address, by the way, purplebecca923@gmail.com. Website is still under construction, so stay tuned for further updates regarding that. But until next time, remember that education is fresh, reading is fun. And so what you need to do now is go out there, create what you deserve, and fly with the penguins. Bye.